a quaint village nestled at the foot of the imposing Blackstone Castle, was a place where time seemed to stand still. The castle's ancient walls were adorned with grotesque gargoyles, each one a stone sentinel frozen in perpetual vigilance. Among them, Moros, the most menacing of them all, perched atop the highest tower, its unblinking eyes casting an ominous gaze over the humble homes below. The legends whispered by the villagers spoke of Moros as a guardian enchanted by an ancient sorcerer, destined to protect Blackstone Castle and its inhabitants. The tales spoke of its supernatural abilities and the eerie, blood-red glow that emanated from its eyes during the darkest nights. However, for generations, Moros remained nothing more than a lifeless statue, a silent watcher in the moonlit shadows. One fateful night, a night when the blood-red moon hung low in the sky, an arcane energy enveloped the castle. Unbeknownst to the unsuspecting villagers, a malevolent force stirred Moros from its centuries-long slumber. The stone exterior cracked, and the once inert eyes now gleamed with an otherworldly light. Slowly, Moros began to awaken, breaking free from the confines of its stone prison. The village of Aldeburgh lay shrouded in darkness as the clock struck midnight. The haunting howl that echoed through the air sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. Moros had come to life, driven by an insatiable bloodlust that seemed to emanate from the depths of its stone heart. The first witness to the horror was Elias, the village blacksmith. He had been toiling away in his workshop, hammering at a red-hot piece of iron when the guttural growl pierced the night. Dropping his tools, Elias cautiously stepped outside, his eyes scanning the darkened streets. The moonlight cast an eerie glow upon the cobblestone streets, revealing the monstrous silhouette of Moros descending from the castle walls. Its wings stretched wide, casting a shadow that engulfed the village in an oppressive darkness. Elias could hardly believe his eyes as the gargoyle landed gracefully, its talons scraping against the ground. A sense of dread washed over the blacksmith as he watched Moros prowl through the village, its eyes ablaze with an unnatural fervor. The air grew thick with tension as the once silent streets now echoed with the sound of stone claws clattering against the ground. Tobias, the village innkeeper, was the first victim of Moros' rampage. Drawn outside by the commotion, he stood frozen in terror as the gargoyle descended upon him with terrifying speed. Moros seized Tobias in its monstrous talons, lifting him into the air. The villagers, roused from their slumber, emerged from their homes in shock and disbelief. Panic spread like wildfire as the once trusted guardian of the castle turned into a merciless harbinger of death. The villagers, armed with pitchforks and torches, formed a desperate mob, but their weapons proved futile against the impenetrable stone hide of the gargoyle. Elias, the blacksmith, emerged as a reluctant leader, his eyes burning with determination. He rallied the frightened villagers, urging them to seek refuge within the walls of Blackstone Castle. Perhaps, he thought, they could find sanctuary within the very fortress that Moros was supposed to protect. The castle gates creaked open reluctantly, revealing the dimly lit corridors within. The desperate villagers hurried inside, seeking solace from the relentless onslaught outside. Little did they know that the castle, which had stood as a symbol of safety for centuries, held secrets darker than the night itself. As the last villager crossed the threshold, Elias turned to face the demonic gargoyle that loomed over the courtyard. The blood-red glow of Moros' eyes fixated on him, and a low growl reverberated through the air. Elias steeled himself, his hands gripping the hilt of a sword he had taken from the castle armory. The blacksmith lunged at Moros with all the strength he could muster, his blade clashing against the creature's unyielding stone exterior. Despite his valiant effort, Elias was quickly overpowered by the sheer might of the gargoyle. With a forceful swipe of its talons, Moros sent him sprawling across the courtyard. The castle, once a haven, now echoed with the anguished cries of the villagers as Moros continued its relentless assault. The monstrous gargoyle seemed impervious to the feeble attempts of the desperate inhabitants to repel it. The once stalwart guardian had become an agent of destruction, laying waste to the very village it was meant to defend. As the night wore on, the survivors huddled together in the dimly lit halls of Blackstone Castle, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. Elias, battered and bruised, rose to his feet, determined to find a way to end the nightmarish siege. With a newfound resolve, he led a small group of brave individuals through the labyrinthine corridors of the ancient fortress. Unbeknownst to them, the castle held ancient chambers and hidden passages, long forgotten by those who dwelled within its walls. As they delved deeper into the bowels of Blackstone, they stumbled upon a cryptic chamber adorned with arcane symbols and faded tapestries. A sense of foreboding washed over Elias as he beheld a towering pedestal in the center of the chamber. Resting upon it was a dusty, weathered tome, its pages filled with cryptic incantations and forbidden knowledge. The blacksmith's eyes widened as he realized the source of Moros' malevolence, a dark enchantment that bound the gargoyle to a cursed existence. In a desperate bid to break the curse and save their village, Elias and his companions deciphered the ancient incantations from the forbidden tome. With each word spoken, the air crackled with magical energy, and a palpable tension filled the chamber. The very foundations of Blackstone Castle seemed to shudder as the incantation reached its climax. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air resounded with a deafening roar. Moros, still wreaking havoc above, convulsed as if caught in the throes of an unseen force. The gargoyle's stone form began to crumble, its wings disintegrating into dust. The blood-red glow in its eyes dimmed, and with an otherworldly scream, Moros succumbed to the magic that bound it. As the last echoes of the curse faded away, the survivors of Aldeburgh emerged from the depths of Blackstone Castle. The once vibrant village lay in ruins, a stark reminder of the night's unspeakable horrors. The blacksmith Elias gazed upon the wreckage, his heart heavy with the weight of loss and sacrifice. In the aftermath, the survivors mourned their fallen friends and family, their homes reduced to rubble by the unleashed fury of Moros. The castle, once a symbol of protection, stood as a somber monument to the darkness that had taken root within its ancient walls. The villagers, scarred by the traumatic events that transpired, vowed never to speak of that cursed night. The legend of Moros, the gargoyle that came to life, would become a chilling tale passed down through generations, a cautionary reminder of the consequences that could arise when tampering with forces beyond mortal comprehension. As the villagers began to rebuild their shattered lives, Elias stood before the ruins of Blackstone Castle, contemplating the price paid to break the curse. The once grand fortress now stood as a testament to the thin veil between the mundane and the supernatural, a reminder that some guardians were better left undisturbed in their stone slumber. The blood-red moon dipped below the horizon, casting the land in an eerie silence. The village of Aldeburgh, though scarred and changed, began the arduous journey towards healing. Yet, in the quiet moments of the night, some swore they could still hear the echoes of Moros' haunting scream, a ghostly reminder of the gargoyle that had come to life and left a village in ruins.